Along the coast of South Africa, a great white shark is on the prowl. On the beach, the seals take turns looking for the shark's telltale fin and head. Great whites have excellent eyesight, both underwater and above. They are the only known fish species that will spy hop or stick their heads out of the water to see what's on the surface. Sight is so important to a great white that in the last seconds of an attack, it rolls its eyes back into its head to protect them. Many great whites have scars around their eyes from seal bites. The older seals know what's waiting for the younger and unlucky. But they need to reach deeper waters to fish. But the shark has more than speed, good eyesight, and surprise on its side. It can hear extremely well and can detect motion from over a mile away. Its face is covered with jelly-filled pouches that are so sensitive to electric fields, it can detect muscle movement and heartbeats. If there's a seal in the water near it, the shark will almost always sense its presence. Lying in wait, rushing up at 25 miles per hour. The other seals flee, but they can't relax for long. This meal will only hold the shark for 2 days. Then it will be back and the hunt will start all over again.
Screams of terror ring out 20 feet beneath the surface as a great white shark torpedoes into a steel cage and collides with two divers inside. Taking tourists in cages through South Africa's shark-infested waters.
They just love it. And these guys were the same.
But excitement quickly turns to panic for tourists Jerry Lohman and Peter Boshoff. The very first time they get into a cage, so does a great white shark. Chum lures the sharks in close to the cage. But this time, the great white misses the bait and keeps coming, right into the cage. Here's how it happens. The chum was attached to a line from the boat above, dangling right in front of the 5 by 7 foot steel cage. As the shark went to bite, the bait was jerked away. The great white's deadly jaws missed, and the shark's head ends up jammed inside, still hunting for food. The divers are trapped at the bottom of the cage, just inches from the jaws of death, with no way out. Every time the great white thrashes, his razor-sharp teeth get closer and closer. Suddenly, Jerry loses his air supply. It's now or never. Escape or drown.
So what happened is, as the shark went up again, he stood up next to it, and he sort of put his hands out and pushed the shark down. And then Jerry took his chance and he went out the same windows that the shark came in.
Jerry makes it to the surface, but Peter is still trapped by the shark. He's also lost his regulator, and he's running out of oxygen. Just as the shark moves in to take his first bite, it bumps Peter right here, and that saves his life.
He was just waiting for the opportunity, and when she stopped thrashing around like that, lying on the bottom looking up, I thought to myself, this can't be happening.
Peter never cage dives again, but he'll never forget the terrifying time he stared down a shark.
The thing that I remember is that eye, and it looks right into you.
stay on this side.
Jono's got a massive
Rod tip
mackerel.
low. Rod tip low.
Rod tip low.
Yeah,
Go around the
tip,
front.
yeah.
Jono's got this enormous.
You don't have to
Just watch that rod there.
everything.
Well, they're all big here, mate. It's just been a crazy day. See if a shark can come and eat this one.
No, we'll be right. We'll just go steady.
There you go, Lee's there, mate.
Yeah, just guide him around like you did that time. Just bring him up again. Just look out, boys. Yeah, keep him coming like that. That's perfect. So just pull up a little bit.
Pulling up a bit. He's not happy now.
Fuck. You went ape shit.
Yeah. Well, you would if you stuck on those up my backside. I'd go ape shit
Okay,
too.
now just pull up on him like you did that. Oh!
Oh no!
Jesus Christ!
Oh.
There you go, boys.
Okay. Wind up, Jono. You still got everything.
Wind up.
Oh.
There you go.
Well, we saw a shark attack. That's pretty cool, at least.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, look, he's just come back.
He's in pieces now.
Did you see how many scars the shark
Look at the
had?
lure.
Where's the lure? Is he floating up?
The lure's still in
The
the
shark.
Oh, he's still kicking around down there. Jeez, I hate sharks.
Whoa, there's two of them.
Look at the lure.
Oh, I hate them.
Film that, Dad. Flying over.
I am.
Look at the scar on the shark's head. Do you see it?
He's gone.
Oh, he's there. No, he's here. Just the other side. The other side.
Yeah, he's over here now.
Yeah, he's just down there. Once you get it.
What a dirty scum, he's gone.
That is so gay.
Bloody sharks.
Scavenging occurs in virtually all ecosystems alike, and it serves an important role to help prevent the buildup of dead organic matter. While it may not be the most glamorous job on the block, there are many top predators happy to lend a helping hand, such as these great white and blue sharks going to town on a lifeless minke whale. They were brought in by the chemical and odor scents released by this decomposing carcass, and are now feasting on its high-calorie blubber. When the whale is finally stripped of enough buoyant fat, it will sink to the bottom of the ocean floor for a new group of scavengers to take on over. This natural event was captured by Andrea Mills while aboard one of Island Packer's tour boats in the Channel Islands of Southern California. Once again, thanks for
El ataque fue muy rápido, duró segundos. Todo estaba tranquilo y de repente atacó.
Is it possible that a fish could sense vulnerability in a human?
You guys ready? Yep.
Brandon decides to test this theory on the shark's turf.
So now I got 1, 2, 3, 4 sharks, one with a bad attitude, and I'm ready to jump in there. I need my head checked.
You put a hand on either of those rails, just drop straight in.
Look over it?
Yep.
The plan is to lure a shark into a sneak attack, like the Surf Beach victims endured.
This cage is specifically built with bars on every side except the front, which is all plexiglass. So when I jump in there and float out 30, 40 yards, I'm gonna look like an easy target for these sharks.
The sharks are shy at first, but as soon as Brandon turns his back, they close the gap. And when Brandon takes an even more vulnerable position, the animal's confidence grows. Then, out of nowhere, an 18-footer shows up. And a cage may not be enough to stop it. But pulling Brandon out now would only put him in greater danger. The safest place is in the cage, if the cage stays in one piece. One float is punctured. If the shark takes out the other one, the cage could sink to the bottom, leaving Brandon trapped.
I'm Greg Marshall, inventor of CritterCam. It's a camera system, a research tool that we deploy on the backs of wild animals to see what they're doing when we can't be there to observe their behavior. National Geographic Explorer was with me on my very first expedition to deploy a CritterCam on a shark. And it turns out it was a lot more dangerous than I ever imagined. And the concept was pretty straightforward. Catch the shark, control it, dive with it, and do the deployment on the bottom where we could control the shark in its environment where it was comfortable. That was a bad decision. As I tried to insert the dart into the base of the dorsal fin, the shark flinched basically, got out of the handler's control. Nick is in the water, filming the whole scene, and watches as the shark swims away. And he decides to follow the shark and film it. One of the handlers decided to come back and to recapture the shark. He reaches down with a hook stick and hooks the shark again in the mouth. Of course, the shark does what any animal would do to protect itself. It comes back and turns immediately toward the closest target that it imagines has inflicted this pain, which happens to be Nick.
Less than 2 seconds later, I've got a shark suddenly trying to tear my right leg off. I took the camera.
Shark bites the camera.
I kept pounding it. And every time the jaw opened a little bit, wiggle my leg out, because I knew if another split second or two, I'd have at least no foot.
Nick is scrambling to get to the surface with the shark on his hand and on his feet.
I knew I was only 15, 20 feet from the surface, but I had no help. I struggled to get, now with kind of one leg working, up to the top, and the shark was coming at me the whole time. And then I just kind of ran out of steam. And for the first time in my life, I dropped the camera.
Soon the camera is dropped from Nick's hands and it falls down to the bottom of the ocean in a cloud of sand.
And my right hand slid right into the shark's mouth. My thumb and my finger were completely split open to the bone.
And I hear one of the local fishermen scream, "He's dead." First thing I saw of Nick was, in essence, almost as if he were being pushed out of the water.
The next thing, I'm looking at blue sky.
They pulled Nick out of the water, and he's bleeding, obviously in pain. He's not dead, but he's in trouble. he's in real trouble.
And I just remembered this little voice saying, hang in there, don't pass out.
He looked ashen, he looked terrified, he looked in shock. He wasn't screaming. Just remember him saying, it got me, it got me.
And I was flown from Cancun to Miami.
You know, we were totally focused on Nick, and when Nick was finally taken care of, there was nothing else we could do, and we walked back down to the beach, and one of the fishermen came up to me and said, well, you know, what do you want to do with the shark? And I go, what shark? And I said, well, we got the shark again. The prevailing sentiment was, you know, out of respect for what had happened to Nick and out of respect for the shark itself, we really felt that the best thing to do was to complete the project and actually go through with it. So that's what we did. That shark was the very first CritterCam deployment on a wild free-ranging animal.
That accident happened in May. In August of the same year, we did another show for National Geographic, so I actually got back to work with sharks, which I still love doing. But I'm just glad that you know, I'm here to tell this story, and it does have a good ending. I mean, I'm not missing anything, and I'm still happy filming sharks. I'm just a little bit more careful on how I go about it.
As the annual humpback whale migration along the coast of Western Australia begins, it is inevitable that there will be some fatalities along the way. But with this death begins something truly amazing, a sudden influx of food rarely seen in this marine ecosystem for some of the top apex predators. The rapid consumption of an enormous carcass such as a whale highlights the importance of the roles apex predatory species of different sharks play in maintaining a healthy ecological balance in our oceans. needed. Without them, we lose not only an important part of the food web, but an apex predatory species. Sharks are the key to our healthy oceans, so please, do your part to help protect them.